organic compounds are very useful for, particularly for living organisms. So most of that are affecting our lives, like the products that we commonly use are made up of organic compounds, so such as clothes, foods, medicine, gasoline, yung mga yan. And some of those, they are naturally occurring, pwede rin naman na synthesize in the laboratory. So ano mga example ng naturally occurring organic compounds? So we have cotton, wool, and silk, and then we have those that are synthetically produced, mostly in the lab. So yung these are also carbon-containing compounds. These are organic compounds. Okay, so for our book, we have yung problem 11.1. You are asked to determine which is an organic compound and which are inorganic compounds. So for example, yung practice problem is on page 386. Okay, so for the first one, C6H12. So since siya ay may carbon sa kanyang formula, this is considered as organic. Okay, and then for water, so wala siyang carbon, edi inorganic. And then this one is inorganic. Kasi wala rin siyang carbon. And then magnesium sulfate is also inorganic. And then CH4O is organic. And then sodium hydroxide is inorganic. Okay, so classification lang ng organic and inorganic compounds. Easy. Okay, so for, we also have some examples, yung commonly used na organic compounds, or most likely we encounter that every day in our lives. So, anong example? We have methane. So, yung methane, as you can see, meron siyang, sa kanyang structural formula, meron siyang carbon. And saan ba ginagamit yung methane? Most likely, these are from fossil fuels. So, they are natural gas. However, kapag yung high yung concentration ng methane, it would cause air pollution. Particularly, ito yung main gas na nagkakos ng global warming aside from carbon dioxide. And syempre, I know you are very familiar with ethanol, so they can be used as disinfectant, but they're also used in alcoholic beverages. Another example is capsaicin. So this is the one responsible for the spiciness ng peppers. And ito yung kalimitang ginagamit sa topical ointment. We're very familiar with caffeine. So yung caffeine, for particularly for humans, edi stimulant siya for the brain. Stimulant for the brain, and then found in coffee, tea, cola beverages, and chocolate. And then, after these examples, we have the characteristics of organic compounds. So, yung mostly organic compounds, since ang definition na ay carbon-containing compounds, edi technically, merong carbon. So, merong carbon yung organic compounds. And most of the time, these organic compounds are bonded to hydrogen atoms. Okay? So later we will discuss kapag hindi sa hydrogen nakabond, meron pang ibang elements. Okay? And don't forget that carbon always forms 4 covalent compounds. Why? I-recall nyo po yung lesson sa covalent bonding. So di ba yung sa covalent bonding, you have to know ano ba yung number of valence electrons ng isang element. And then kung siya ay pwedeng mag-covalent compound. So, how will you know kung ano yung maximum number of bonds na pwede sa element? Diba we have the formula 8 minus valence electrons. Ito yung maximum bonds. This is applicable for those na, for the groups, element groups na for group 4 and above. Okay, so in the case of carbon, so since siya ay group 4, so 4 valence electrons siya, so 8 minus 4, ang maximum bonds ng carbon ay 4. Okay, that's why carbon always form 4 covalent bonds. And then for hydrogen, so yung hydrogen naman will always form 1 covalent bond. Hindi siya applicable sa formula na to kasi ay hindi naman siya group 4 and above. So hindi applicable yung 8 minus valence electrons. Okay? And ipaparecall ko lang din sa inyo, di ba, sa isang line or this bond represents 2 valence electrons. That's why if you count yung valence electrons surrounding carbon, so you have 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, dapat stable. Dapat nag-o-off din. Okay po? Aside from that, yung characteristics ng organic compounds would be forming single, double, and triple bonds with other carbon atoms. So example, yung ethane, as you can see dito, sa examples, all of these compounds are uh, two carbon compounds, meaning meron silang dalawang carbon atoms. Pero how do they differ in terms of their characteristics, in terms of their boiling point? Yung presence ng single, double, or triple bonds. So, yung carbon, sa lahat ng elements sa periodic table, carbon lang yung pwedeng mag-bond, mag-form ng single, double, and triple bond between carbon atoms. Okay, so for ethane, for ethane, as you can see dito, you have here two carbon atoms, tapos may single bonds, and then ethylene double bonds, tapos acetylene ay triple bonds. So siguro next week, pag nag-discuss na ng alkanes, you will know how to name these structures. Okay? And then aside from that, yung another characteristic of organic compounds, they can be in chains or they can be cyclic or naka-ring sila. So in this example, yung propane and cyclopropane, both of them are 3 carbon-containing compounds. So they have 3 carbon atoms, pero they differ in terms of their structure. Yung propane is linear, and then yung cyclopropane naman ay merong ring. Okay, or cyclic alkane. Okay po, baka may question. Again, sa vinyl, kung may question po kayo, huwag nyo lang ilagay sa chat or may clarification. And then, for practice problem 11.1, which is on page 390 of your book, so in here, you are asked to fill in all hydrogen and hydrogen atoms and lone pairs in each compound. Okay, so for letter A, na example, diba, always remember, ang carbon can hold 4 bonds. So, kung hindi siya nakaband sa another carbon, pwede siyang nakaband sa hydrogen most of the time. So, in this case, sa letter A, this is your first carbon. So, yung first carbon, meron na siyang isang bond. So, apat yung kailangan niya, you just add yung tatlong hydrogen atoms. Okay? And then for the second for the second carbon naman, you have your second carbon 2. Ilan na yung bonds niya? You have 1, and then 2, tapos 3. So dahil 3 bonds na siya, isa na yung kailangan niya na bond. So you add 1 atom of hydrogen. Tapos yung third carbon atom naman, this is your third carbon atom. Bilangin niyo lang kung ilan yung bonds. So you have here 1, 2, 3. Okay, so dahil 3 na yung kanyang bonds, you just add 1 hydrogen atom. Tapos for the last carbon, isa lang yung bond niya. That's why you will add 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay? So hopefully medyo nakakasunod kayo. Tapos, as you can see, wala naman siyang lone pair. Kasi di ba pag carbon, laging used up yung kanyang bonds. Laging na-maximize. For the next example, letter B. So, for the first carbon atom, merong isang nakaband sa kanya na carbon. So, you just add, again, 3 hydrogen atoms here. Tapos, yung second carbon, if you will look at it, ito yung second carbon. So, meron ng tatlong nakaband sa kanya, which is oxygen, and 2 carbon atoms. So, since at may nakaband sa kanya, you just add H. Tapos, for the next carbon atom, isa lang yung nakaband sa kanya, so you add 3 hydrogen atoms. In the case of oxygen, kailangan kasi kumpleto yung molecule. So yung oxygen, if you will observe, or if you will recall, yung kayo ng sabi ko, 8 minus, since ang oxygen is group 6, so pwede applicable sa kanya yung 8 minus valence electrons ay maximum bond. So if we apply that, 8 minus 6, since ang oxygen ay group 6, so meron siyang 6 valence electron, the maximum number of bonds ay 2. Okay, but as you can see here, yung bond dito ng oxygen ay isa pa lang. So you just add hydrogen dito para magkaroon ng 2 bonds. Okay? And then, if you will also recall, dapat yung unbonded electrons ay nakalagay din sa formula. So in that case, meron tayong 2 lone pairs, meaning merong 4 unbonded electrons. So ganyan yung magiging formula niya. or structure. Okay po? Baka may question so far. For letter C naman, so letter C, yung first carbon atom, kagaya pa rin ng dati. So you have here 3 hydrogen atoms. And then for the next carbon, so as you can see here, ito yung next carbon. If you will see, apat na yung kanyang bonding pairs or yung kanyang bonding kung ano man. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't need to add a hydrogen atom. Okay? And then for the last carbon atom, so isa lang yung nakaband sa kanya. So you add 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? May question po, Miss. Bakit po ulit may 4 dots sa oxygen sa B ulit? Yung 4 dots po sa oxygen, yun yung unbonded electrons. So, di ba dun sa lesson ng covalent bonding, sa molecular geometry, kailangan nyo i-show yung unbonded electrons. So, bakit apat yung oxygen? Kasi di ba yung oxygen, 6 yung valence electrons. Tapos meron na siyang may use na dalawang electrons for bonding. So, yung apat, naging lone pair siya. Naging 2 lone pairs. Kaya apat po yung dots sa oxygen. Okay? So, going back to letter C, yung next naman is oxygen. So, yung oxygen dito, as you can see, dalawa na yung kanyang bonds. So, na-reach na yung maximum number of bonds. So, kagaya ng sabi ko kayo na, pagka na-reach na yung maximum number of bonds, you just have to indicate yung titira niyang electrons, which is 4 electrons, yung lone pairs. So, you have 2 lone pairs. Okay po. And then, for letter D, so, yung first carbon, dagdagan nyo na ng 3 hydrogen atoms. And then for the next carbon atom, if you will observe, 4 na uli yung bonds niya. So hindi na niya kaya mag-accommodate ng hydrogen. So hayaan niyo siya. Okay? And then for the last carbon atom, ito siya. Yung last carbon atom, isa lang yung nakabond sa kanya. So you include 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay? And then for oxygen naman, so sa oxygen, na-reach na niya yung maximum number of bonds niya, which is 2. So again, you just add yung lone pairs. Okay? And then for nitrogen, so kung di ba ang nitrogen ay group 5, so pwede siya dun sa 8 minus number of valence electron. So 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. So, meaning 3 yung kanyang maximum number of bonds. Pero dito sa molecule, dalawa pa lang yung nakabond sa kanya. So, you can just add another hydrogen atom. So, 3 na yung nakabond sa kanya. Pero recall na 5 yung kanyang valence electron. So, meaning meron pa siyang 2 hindi nagamit. So, merong isang lone pair ang nitrogen. Baka may question or clarification, so sabihin nyo lang. Okay? And then for the last one, this is a cyclic alkane. So yung carbon, meron na siyang 2 nakabond dito. Yung carbon na to, may 2 na yung nakabond. So you just attach yung 2 hydrogen atom. And then the other carbon will be the same also, 2 hydrogen atoms. Tapos yung sa oxygen, as you can see here, 2 na yung nakabond sa kanya. So no need to add another hydrogen atom kasi na-fulfill na yung maximum number of bonds. So you just include yung lone pairs. Question po, Miss, bakit po 2 bond lang po for oxygen? Yung bakit 2 bond, if you recall dito sa ating basta yung meron lesson yun sa Gen Chem 1 na when you are drawing yung sa molecular geometry, na for you to know kung ilan yung number of bonds ng isang atom. Kapag siya ay group 4, so if it is belonging to group 4 and above, pwede applicable yung formula na 8 minus number of valence electrons. Equal siya sa maximum bonds. Okay, so in terms of kung oxygen siya, if you will use this formula, Di ba ang oxygen is group 6, so 8 minus 6, ang number of bonds niya ay 2. Maximum number of bonds. May question pa po ba? Baka sakaling may question pa. Okay po. So next one, another characteristic of organic compounds. So kanina we have established na most of the time nakaband yung carbon with hydrogen atoms. However, there are cases na nakaband siya sa ibang elements aside from hydrogen. So in that case, we have here what we call yung heteroatom. So when we say heteroatom, ito yung atom na nakaband sa carbon aside except hydrogen and another carbon atom. So yung example ng heteroatom, pwede siya yung, ang commonly heteroatoms in organic compounds are nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So, yung bonds, nakadepende ulit siya dun sa characteristic or sa group number ng certain elements na yun. Okay? Aside from that, another way to check kung tama yung bonds, nasa Gen Chem 1 din to. So you can just add yung number of bonds plus number of lone pair. It should always be equal to 4. Pero don't worry, hindi mo kayo magagawa ng bonds na sa org chem. Kasi kalimitan sa org chem, given na yung structure. Given na yung molecular structure, you just have to identify ilan yung lone pairs, ilan yung yung bonded atoms. Okay? Kasi mamaya mag-identify tayo ng shape. Okay, so just to prove itong point ng number of bonds plus number of lone pair is equal to 4. So if we go back to the example earlier, so di ba dito sa letter D, if you will look at nitrogen, so yung nitrogen, again, number of bonds plus number of lone pairs is equal to 4. So yung nitrogen, meron siyang 3 bonded atoms. Ito siya. 3 bonded atoms. So 3. And then you also have 1 lone pair. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Okay. So, dapat lagi mag-i-equal sa 4. Yun yung example kung paano mapuprove na tama yung bonding. Okay po. Baka may question so far. And then, since most of the organic compounds are covalent compounds, all of them are covalent compounds, meron din silang shape. Okay, that's why I told you earlier na you have to recall yung lesson sa Gen Chem 1, which is yung shape ng molecules. Okay, so yung shape ng molecules, siguro medyo review na lang. Pag may question kayo, sabihin nyo lang. Okay, so yung different shapes, i-recall nyo lang. I think nasa page 123 ng book ninyo yung table ng shapes. So you can refer to that table to identify the shapes. And recall, kapag ka nag-identify ng shape ng molecule, you have to see or you have to look at the central atom. And then, sa central atom, ilan yung bonded atoms sa kanya and how many lone pairs are in the central atom. Okay? In that case, if we have this example, yung ethylene. So dito sa ethylene, dalawa yung central atom niya, dalawa yung carbon. So how will you identify the shape? Pwede nyo namang lagyan ng dash line yung gitna. Okay, since they are mirror projections. And then look at the central atom ng nasa left side. So in the case of this example, yung carbon, ito yung central atom ninyo sa left side. And then look at how many bonded atoms are there. So, meron kayong dalawang bonded atoms. Okay? Hindi pwedeng 4 yung bonded ha. Kasi yung 4 lines dyan, siya ay bonding electrons lang. Okay? Ang bonded atoms, yung mga elements. So, in this left side, dalawa yung bonded atoms. And then, if you look at the central atom, wala siyang lone pair. So, kaya linear yung kanyang shape. Okay? So, pag linear yung shape, again, sa central atom, there are 2 bonded atoms and there is no lone pair. Okay po, baka mostly recall lang naman po kasi nag-lesson na tayo sa Chem 1. Okay, another example would be trigonal planar. So sa trigonal planar, again, dito meron kayong dalawang central atom. So lagyan nyo ng dash dyan. And then look at the central atom ng left side. and then identify how many bonded atoms are there. So there are 3 bonded atoms, central atom, tapos wala siyang lone pair. Therefore, ang shape niya is trigonal planar. Again, nasa page 123 ng book niyo yung table. Tapos, for an atom surrounded by 4 groups, so yung 4 groups na yan, as you can see, yung CH4 dito, yung methane, meron siyang 4 na bonded atoms around the central atom, and then there is no lone pair, so ang shape niya ay tetrahedral. And then, if you will observe, bakit sa ibang references, may mga ganitong diagram. Bakit may broken line, bakit merong parang may wedge, tapos may solid line. So, yung mga lines na yan, they represent yung 3D model ng molecule. Okay? So, whenever you see a solid line, meaning nasa same plane lang siya. And then for wedge, the bond is in front of the plane. Kung dito sa methane, ito siya, yung wedge. And then for the dashed line, it is located behind the plane. Ito yung dashed line. Ito siya. Okay, kung 3D model. So, kalimitan naman ginagamit din kapag medyo higher na yung chem. Pero for Gen Chem, okay lang na solid line. Pero if you apply yung wedge and dashed line, mas maganda. Okay? And then for those molecules which contains 3 bonded atoms, and then meron siyang lone pair, so example ay NH3, or in this example, dito sa structure na yan, if you divide this into 2 planes, syempre yung CH, itong left side, if you will look at the central atom, yung kanya ay 4 bonded atoms, tapos walang lone pair. So meaning, itong left side, ang shape niya ay tetrahedral. And then yung right side, hindi naman sila mirror projections, unlike nung example natin kanina. So you have to determine ano yung shape ng right side. So in the case of this one, yung methylamine, if you will look at the central atom, nitrogen, meron siyang 3 bonded atoms, and then meron isang lone pair. So pag ganun, 3 bonded atoms tapos isang lone pair, ang shape niya ay trigonal pyramid. And then the other example, another shape of molecule. So you have here methanol. So dalawa uli yung central atom, divide nyo lang siya sa gitna ng broken line. So kagaya kanina, itong left side, ang shape niya ay tetrahedral. But since they are not mirror projections of each other, tingnan nyo yung shape ng right side. So yung right side, ang inyong central atom ay oxygen, and then merong 2 bonded atoms, which is carbon and hydrogen. So yung 2 bonded atoms, tapos sa central atom, meron pa kayong 2 lone pairs. So if you have 2 lone pairs and then 2 bonded atoms, ang shape niya ay bent or V-shape. Baka po may question sa pagre-recall ng molecular geometry, sabihin nyo lang po. Okay, so ito yung table na sinasabi ko, nasa page 123. So for practice problem 11.2 on page 393, you have to determine the shape around the indicated atoms in each compound. Don't forget to add electron pairs to heteroatoms before determining the shape. Okay, so for this example, you have to determine the shape ng dalawang carbon atoms. So for the first carbon atom, again, divide nyo siya sa gitna. Then look at the left side. Sa first carbon, meron 3 bonded atoms. And then wala siyang lone pair. That's why yung number 1, ang shape niya ay trigonal planar. Okay, and then for number 2, before determining the shape, you can add the electron pairs. Pero since yung Br naman ay hindi central atom, you don't, kahit hindi nyo unahin yung electron pairs. Okay? Kasi always remember, kahit yung terminal atoms ay merong lone pairs, hindi siya maka-apekto sa shape ng compound. Ang importanteng lone pair dapat nasa central atom. Okay? So for number 2, yung carbon niya ay Tatlo yung bonded atoms, walang lone pair. So, same din ang shape, trigonal, planar. Okay, and then you just add the electron pairs ng heteroatoms. So, di ba yung bromine is group 7? So, meron siyang 7 valence electrons. If we follow yung ating formula kanina, 8 minus 7, so ang maximum number of bonds ay 1. So, satisfy niya na yung maximum number of bonds. But there are still remaining 6 valence electrons. So, you just include it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay po, baka may question. And then for the next example, so you still have to determine the shape and also electron pairs of the heteroatoms. So for the first one, dalawa na yung nakaband. Ay, mali yung example. Yung example sa book ninyo, triple bond to. Okay? So for the first carbon, meron na siyang dalawang banded atoms, and then there is no lone pair. So ang shape niya ay linear. And then for number 2, 4 yung banded atoms niya. Wala rin siyang lone pair. So ang shape number 2 ay tetrahedral. And then for number 3, oxygen. So tignan nyo muna kung yung oxygen ba ay mayroon pang kulang na bonds, or kung wala na, ay determine the shape, or kung meron pa siyang lone pair. Okay? Kasi siya yung central atom. So in terms of oxygen, dalawa yung kanyang banded atoms. At if you recall, kapag dalawa na yung kanyang bonds, maximum number of bonds na. So you have to include yung lone pairs. Okay, since kailangan nyo siyang i-include kasi siya yung kinoconsider na central atom dito sa example. So itong central atom na to, para ma-identify nyo yung shape, kailangan nyo determine kung meron siyang lone pair. Okay, for oxygen, dalawang banded atoms, dalawang lone pair. So ang shape niya ay bent. Okay po, baka may question. Next example, so determine the shape around, again, determine pa rin yung shape. So for carbon number 1, so meron na kayong 3 banded atoms. Ito yun, 1, 2, 3. Tapos wala siyang lone pair. So ang shape ng number 1 is trigonal, planar. And then for number 2, so look at this one, yung number 2 ay carbon din. Ito yung central atom, merong 2 banded electrons. So you have nitrogen and another carbon. So 2 banded electrons, 2 banded atoms, walang lone pair. So ang shape number 2 ay linear. And then of course, don't forget to supply yung lone pair ng heteroatom. So yung nitrogen, group 5 siya. So mayroong 5 valence electrons, and then 8 minus 5, 3 yung kanyang maximum bonds. So dito sa formula, na-satisfy na niya yung 3 maximum bonds. So you just have to include yung lone pair. Baka may question? Chat lang po. And then for problem 11.2 on page 393, given naman yung molecule, you have to determine the bonding angles of the molecule. So, paano nyo malaman yung bonding angles? Again, bubalik kayo dito sa table na to, sa page 123. Kasi each shape, meron silang specific na or approximation ng bonding angles. So, dito, kapag linear, 180 degrees, kapag trigonal planar, 120. I-apply nyo lang. Basta alam nyo yung table. Okay? So, for this example, problem 11.2 on page 393, yung carbon 1, ano ba muna yung, syempre, you have to identify the shape bago nyo malaman yung bonding angle. So, for carbon number 1, ano yung shape niya? 4 banded atoms, walang lone pair. So, ang shape niya ay tetrahedral. So, based sa table, ang tetrahedral, ang bonding angle niya is 109.5 degrees. So, this is 109.5 degrees. And then, for number 2, ano ba yung shape ng molecule? Tetrahedral din siya kasi may 4 banded atoms. So, ang tetrahedral, ay 109.5 degrees din. Tapos yung number 3, same carbon ang tinitingnan. So ito ay 109.5 degrees din yung bonding angle. Okay? Easy. And then the next one, example. So given today yung molecule, you have to determine the bonding angle. So for number 1, ano ba yung shape ng number 1? This is trigonal planar. Kasi meron tatlong bonded atoms and then walang lone pair. So this is trigonal planar. Pag trigonal planar, ang kanyang bonding angle is 120 degrees. So, number 1 is 120 degrees. And then for number 2, so if you look at number 2, ang shape din niya is trigonal planar. So kung trigonal planar siya, edi 120 degrees din ang bond angle. And then for number 3, so dito ang titingnan niyo ng central atom is oxygen. So in that case, kung oxygen yung central atom, so you just have to supply muna yung lone pair bago kayo mag-determine ng shape. So meron niyang dalawang lone pair. So kapag dalawa yung lone pair niya, dalawa yung bonded atoms, ang kanyang shape would be bent. Kapag naman bent yung shape, ang bonding angle is approximately 109.5 degrees. Ay, parang mali ata. Ang bonding angle is, ayun, tama pala. Bonding angle is 109.5. Okay? And then, baka may question so far sa pag-determine ng molecules kasi tayo ay magko-condense structures na ng organic compounds. Wala pong question? Okay, so next one ay how to draw organic molecules. Sa organic chemistry kasi merong different types ng formula. Merong condensed formula, meron namang line formula, meron ding skeletal structure. Ang most ding nakikita sa organic molecules would be condensed structure, most likely. May question pala. Miss, paano ko malalaman yung central atom? Dito sa examples, paano nyo malalaman yung central atom? Kung saan nakaturo yung arrow. So, example, kung dito sa, wait lang. Dito sa example na yan, yung number 1 nakaturo dun sa letter C na to. So, siya yung central atom na titignan mo. Tapos yung number 2 nakaturo dito. So, siya din yung central atom. Sa organ kasi, given kung alin yung central atom. Pero pagka yung molecular geometry, kailangan kayo yung gagawa. Pero for now, for this lesson, given lagi yung central atom. May arrow lagi na nakaturo sa central atom. Okay? So, going back sa condensed structures, so given ito, ang tawag kasi pwede itong tawagin, itong molecule, itong drawing na yan na skeletal formula or skeletal structure. Okay? So, yung pagtamad ka mag-drawing, pwede ka mag-condensed formula. And most of the time, tamad yung mga nagkekem, so condensed formula yung ginagamit. Okay? So, dito sa how will you draw the condensed structure, edi ko condense mo lang yung skeletal structure. Example, in this molecule, you have here 1 carbon, tapos may nakaband sa kanyang 3 hydrogen atom, so CH3. Yung kanyang condensed formula. And then, for this one, itong second molecule na yan, you have another carbon, tapos meron siyang 2 hydrogen atom, kaya CH2. Tapos another CH2, tapos yung last one is CH3. Yun lang po yung condensed formula. Okay? So, example. Another thing, meron ding some condensed structure, pwede rin gumamit ng line. Yung line na yun will indicate yung special bonding pattern or yung specific bonding pattern. So in the case of this molecule, yung una, ito yung first carbon, so this is CH3. Tapos yung pangalawang carbon, as you can see, isa lang sa kanya nakabond na hydrogen. So CH lang siya. And yung kanyang sanga, ito, yung sanga na yan, CH3. So you can indicate this with the line, tapos CH3. Then the next one, the next carbon atom, CH2, kasi dalawa yung nakabond na hydrogen. Tapos yung last one is tatlong hydrogen yung nakaband. So, CH3. Okay? And then, pagka sobrang haba ng formula, dahil natamad yung mga nag-chem, pwede pang i-condense ang condensed structure. Okay? So, example, if in here, it's sa formula na yan, dalawa yung magkasunod na CH2. So, you can further condense it into a formula like this. So, CH2 naka-enclose sa parenthesis. Tapos, ilan ba yung magkakasunod na CH2? Di yun yung subscript. And then, doon naman sa case na merong specific bonding, yung merong line kanina, since these CH3 molecules are bonded to the same carbon, you can do it like this. So, dalawa yung CH3, naka-enclose sa parenthesis, tapos may subscript na 2. Tapos CH, CH2, CH2. Okay, so let's work on some examples. So, for example, problem 11.4, so you have to convert each compound into a condensed structure. In this case, letter A, so yung unang carbon, you have here CH3, and then yung pangalawang carbon, isang H lang. So kung medyo masipag ka, lagyan mo ng bonding pattern, which is CH3. Okay? And then the third carbon, dalawa yung nakaband sa kanya na hydrogen. And then for the fourth carbon, isang hydrogen, tapos may nakaband ulit na CH3. And then the last carbon would be CH3. Since yung dalawang CH3 molecules ay nakaband sa isang carbon, so you have CH3, and then you have CH, tapos CH2. Ito nakaband din sa isang carbon atom. So unahin niyo muna yung CH, tapos you have CH3, 2. Okay po. And then for letter B naman, so condensed structure, yung unang carbon is CH3, and then this one is CH2. Tapos ito ay CH2 na nakaband sa oxygen. And then this one is another CH2. Tapos Cl. Okay po. And then, you can further condense it dun sa CH3 and then CH2 to pwede yan. Or hindi kasi pwedeng mag-combine itong dalawa. Ito, yan, at saka ito. Kasi pag pinag-combine nyo, ang pwedeng lumabas dyan ay ganito. CH3, tapos CH. Pwede nga maging interpretation dyan, nakaband yung Cl sa oxygen. So, hindi pwede. Kasi parang misleading siya na nakaband yung Cl dun sa oxygen. So, CH3, tapos CH2, 2. Okay. Baka po may question. So, another example is on practice problem 11.4 on page 397. Okay, so on this one, you have to convert yung compound sa condensed formula. So, first carbon, CH3, tapos next carbon is CH2, and then another CH2, another CH2, and CH3. So CH3, tapos merong tatlong CH2, kaya okay. And then, another example would be on the same page, 397. So, pwede nyo dito, para mas maganda yung depiction ng condensed formula, pwede nyo unahin yung BR. BR, tapos CH2, CH2, tapos BR. Okay? So, in this case, kung ang maging question dyan, pwede bang i-condense yung formula? Kasi since meron namang parehong CH2, BR, CH2. Yan, pwede. Okay? And then, the next example, if you have to convert this sa condensed formula, so yung first carbon is CH3, The next one is CH2. And then bonded sa oxygen. Pagka merong makikita kayong lone pair, hindi nyo naman kailangan ng i-drawing yung lone pair. Since condensed formula naman. Huwag nyo pahirapan ang sarili ninyo. Okay? And then you have here CH2, CH2, tapos OH. Okay? So you can still condense the formula into CH3, tapos CH2, and then O, tapos dalawang CH2, OH. Okay, baka may question. And then the last example would be, hindi pala last. So in this example, so you have CH3 dito sa carbon na to, CH3. And then this one is CH2. Tapos dito, C lang siya since apat na yung nakaband sa kanya, walang hydrogen. And then you just have CH3, CH3, CH3. Or you can condense it sa CH3, CH2, tapos C, tapos naka-parenthesis na CH3, tapos 3. Okay po. And then, another example would be, given the condensed formula, you have to complete the structure with lone pairs and heteroatoms. Ang technique lang dyan, kapag medyo nagsisimula pa sa org-chem, kapag nag-drawing kayo ng skeletal structure or kahit ng line structure, bilangin nyo muna kung ilan yung carbon bago kayo maglagay ng mga hydrogen para hindi kayo malilito. So in the case of this example, if you will count how many carbon atoms, merong 10. So ito ay carbon 1 tapos 8 siya, since times 8, 1 times 8. So you have already 9 tapos pang 10 itong carbon na ito. And then, drawing nyo lang muna yung carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Para maganda dito. Tapos 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tapos sa kanya attach yung mga hydrogen na nakakabit sa kanila. So for the first one, tatlo yung hydrogen atom. So 8 yung carbon na may dalawang hydrogen atom. Okay, so yan po ang skeletal structure ng condensed, given na condensed formula. And then for the next example, so given this formula, you have to convert it to a complete structure. So again, ano lang, bilangan nyo na kailan yung carbon. So dito, sa example na yan, 5 yung carbon. So ito yung carbon 1, tapos 4 times 1, 4 plus 1 is 5. So, drawing nyo lang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapos yung first carbon, meron siyang 3 hydrogen atoms. And then, yung the next 4, dalawa lang yung hydrogen atom. Tapos yung gas, dalawa. Okay, and then you have here an OH. So, iban nyo lang yung oxygen sa carbon, tapos yung H sa oxygen. Iban nyo lang. Tapos, as we have done earlier, pati yung lone pair dapat kasama. Okay, next one would be skeletal structure. So, kagaya sabi ko kayo na iba-iba yung structure. Merong line, merong skeletal, may condensed, merong line structure. Actually, itong structure na pakita ko sa inyo, ang common na tawag sa kanya, line structure or line formula. So, always remember, whenever you see, imagine niyo yung piatos. Okay, yung isang piece ng piatos. So, lahat ng corners ng piatos, siya ay carbon. Okay? Or basta the junction of any two lines or at the end of any line, merong carbon atom. And assume that these carbon atoms are bonded into hydrogen to give it 4 bonds. Tapos you have to draw in all heteroatoms and the hydrogens directly bonded to them. Ano example? Kalimitan kasi ang given lang sa chem ito, yung piatos na sinasabi ko. Okay? So, itong structure na yan, yun lang yung given. But always remember, lahat ng corners niya or lahat ng junctions niya ay carbon representing carbon atom. So, in this case, ilan yung, if yung line formula lang yung given, ilan yung carbon niya? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And then, if you are asked to convert this line structure sa yung detailed structure, ito yung magiging kakalabasan niya. Itong formula na yan. Yung structure na yan. Okay? And then, another example, in this one, so ito yung skeletal structure. At how many carbon atoms? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapos, meron kang heteroatom, yung oxygen, na nakabond sa hydrogen. Okay? And then, we have some examples. Pagpasensyahan nyo na po ang drawing. So, practice problem 11.6 on page 399. So, convert each skeletal structure to a complete structure with all the C's and H's drawn in. Add lone pairs and all heteroatoms. So, in this case, bilangin nyo muna kung ilan yung carbon ulit. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's pretend na perfect octagon. Okay? So, you have here 8 carbon atoms. Octagon nga ba yung 8? Oo, octagon. Okay, so 8 carbon atoms. And then, syempre, you have to add all the hydrogen atoms. So, in this case, yung carbon na to, may dalawa na yung nakabond na atoms. So, kailangan pa niya ng dalawa to make it 4 bonded atoms. Same goes with the other hydrogen atoms. So, yun na yung complete structure. And then, next one is this one. So, convert nyo din yung skeletal structure into a complete structure. Una muna, bilangin mo na lahat ng carbon atoms. So, in this formula, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 carbon atoms. Okay, and then, i-add nyo muna yung mga heteroatoms, yung chlorine, bago kayo magbilang ng ilan pa yung kailangan na hydrogen. Okay, and then supply nyo muna yung lone pair ng kung meron pa yung heteroatoms. So yung chlorine, di ba 7 yung kanyang valence electron, so 8 minus 7 is 1. Kaya meron na siyang, yung 1 yung maximum number of bonds na pwede sa kanya. So meron pa siyang 6 valence electrons. Sipag-sipag tayo ng konti. Okay. And then, you determine ilan pa yung H na kailangan. Okay? So, H. I'm sorry. Basta H yun. Okay. So, yun na yung complete structure ng compound. And then, another example is this one. So, convert each skeletal structure into a complete structure. Ilan uli yung carbon? Edi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 carbon atoms. And then, yun mo ng heteroatom. So, ibond dito yung oxygen na nakabond sa hydrogen. Tapos, ito nakabond sa nitrogen at dalawang hydrogen. And then, this one ay nakabond sa CH3. Okay, and then, isupply nyo muna yung lone pairs. So, for this oxygen molecule, may dalawang lone pairs. Kasi nitrogen, dalawa din yung lone pairs. Tapos, saka nyo isupply lahat ng hydrogen na kailangan. So, for dito sa may COH na yan, nakaband siya sa tatlo, kailangan pa niya ng isa. And then, for this one, may isa pa. Tapos, dalawa. And another two. And another two. Okay po. So, yan yung complete structure ng compound. Okay, so next one naman, given naman yung structure, you identify yung number of hydrogen atoms bonded to each carbon. Again, given the structure, you identify how many hydrogen atoms are bonded to each atom, carbon atom. So for this, for item number 1, ito yung carbon. So ilan na ba yung naka-bond sa kanya? You have 1, 2, 3. So ilan pa yung hydrogen atoms sa number 1? You will have 1 hydrogen atom. Tapos sa number 2 naman, this is the carbon for number 2. Ilan na yung nakaband sa kanya? So you have 1, 2, 3. Kaya kailangan pa niya ng isang hydrogen atom. And then for carbon number 4, this is carbon number 4. Yan siya. Ilan na yung nakaband? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So dahil 4 na yung nakaband sa kanya, di wala ng hydrogen atom na kailangan. 0H. And then for this one, itong carbon na yan, isa lang yung nakaband sa kanya. So, kailangan pa niya ng 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay? And then another example, so given this structure, di ba ang dali ng orchem? Given this structure, you just have to determine the number of hydrogen atoms. So for C5, ito yung carbon niya. Ang nakaband sa kanya ay dalawa na. So you still need 2 hydrogen atoms. And then for this C6, so you have this carbon. Yung nakaband sa kanya ay dalawa. So it can still accommodate 2 hydrogen atoms. And then for C7, this is your carbon atom bonded to 3 atoms, 1, 2, 3. So it can still accommodate 1 hydrogen atom. Tapos yung C8, this is C8. So, isa lang yung nakaband sa kanya. That's why it will still accommodate 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay po. May question ba sa skeletal structures and condensed structures? May question? Okay, so next one naman is the functional groups. Yung organic compounds, meron kasi yung classification. So, may narinig kayo mga alkane, merong alcohol, merong amine, merong aldehyde. So, those are functional groups. So, when we say functional group, it is an atom or group of atoms with characteristic chemical and physical properties. Okay, and this functional group contains a heteroatom, a multiple bond, or sometimes both of them. Meron silang heteroatom and multiple bond. So, kalimitan, if you have browsed yung inyong book, ang makikita yung functional group, merong R, tapos may bond and functional group. Okay? Letter R is used to abbreviate the carbon and hydrogen portion of a molecule. So, ano ba yung iba-ibang functional groups? So, yung una muna, we have what you call yung hydrocarbons. So, yung hydrocarbons are compounds, from the name itself, hydrocarbons. So, it will only contain hydrogen and carbon atoms. So, ano ba yung mga hydrocarbons? You have alkanes. So, yung alkanes, single bonds lang siya. If you will observe, yung kanina nating example, yung ethane, kaya ethane yung pangalan niya, ethane, yung ANE comes from alkane. Meaning, alkane siya na functional group. And then, the other hydrocarbon is alkenes. Yung alkenes naman, double bond. So, whenever you see this one, alkene yan. May double bond. Okay? Kaya, yung example, yung kanina ay ethene. Okay? So, meaning, di ba yung anyway, we will discuss it sa naming ng alkanes naman. Yung ethane kasi, both of this ethane at saka ethene, dalawa yung kanyang carbon. Okay? Kaya lang sila nagkaiba ng name kasi yung ethane, single bond sila. Tapos yung ethene, double bond. Okay? The other hydrocarbon that we can have is yung alkynes. Ang alkynes naman ay triple bond. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3. ito ay ethyne. Kalimitan. Okay, and then we also have yung hydrocarbons, meron din tayong aromatic hydrocarbons. So when you say aromatic hydrocarbons, from the name itself, pwede may aroma. Pero paano nyo malalaman, hindi nyo maamoy yung line formula? You have to see this ring. Okay? Pag yung ring na yan, nakita nyo, automatic, may aromatic compound siya. Okay? So benzene ring siya, or aromatic hydrocarbons. So again, there are 4 types of hydrocarbons. You have here alkanes, alkynes, alkenes, and aromatic hydrocarbons. So as you can see, ito yung kanyang, yung alkane may single bond, tapos yung alkene double bond, triple bond, tapos yung aromatic compound, ano siya, ring, tapos may double bonds inside. Okay? Ito yung mga functional group nila. Okay? And then, itong hydrocarbons, as I have said earlier, carbon and hydrogen lang yung meron sila. What if may heteroatom? So, yung heteroatom, ayan siya. Different types of compound at saka functional group. So, dito, yung alkyl halide, ang name itself, may halogen siya. Okay? Yung R is bonded to a halogen. So, ito example niya. Yung alcohol, yung carbon-hydrogen bonds nakabond sa OH or sa hydroxyl group. Okay? And then, this is ether. So, yung ether naman, merong oxygen sa gitna, tapos meron dyang mga carbon and hydrogen. So, ito ang example ng ether. Ang kanyang functional group is OR. Okay? And then this is amine. So, yung amine naman, nakabond siya sa NH2 or pwede siyang nakabond sa nitrogen. Another example, so you have here an ether. As you can see dito, di ba, if you go back this table, ang kanyang functional group is OR. Yung R, kalimitan ROR yan. Okay? So if you will look at this one, this is yung R group. Ito yung functional group. And then this is another R group. Kaya ROR. Okay? Tapos dito sa example, dito sa compound na yan, dito, sa may drawing, ano yung mga present na functional group. So you have here an alkene. This is an alkene. Tapos ito ay alcohol. Or ano yung mga present na functional group or compounds. And then this is a benzene ring. Benzene ring. Tapos ito yung ether. Okay? Basta memorize nyo dapat sana yung yung dito, memorize nyo sana yung table kung paano malaman kung ano yung mga functional group. Okay? So example, identify the functional groups in each compound. So in this case, you have here ito. So this is a hydroxyl functional group, or pwede rin naman alcohol ng i-termine niya. Hydroxyl group, or this is an alcohol. Okay? And then, in this example, so you have here a benzene ring, an aromatic compound, aromatic hydrocarbon. And then, this one is an alkene. Kasi merong double bond. Okay? And then, for the next example, you have here an NH2. Yung sasabi ko yun, binabaliktad nila yung formula or yung sequence. Another NH2 here. So, this is an amine. And then, next example. So, you have here this one. Itong dalawang yan ay alkenes. Both of them are alkenes. Since may double bond. And then, this is a hydroxyl or alcohol. Okay. And then next one, next example, you have here, ayan, yung mga yan. May carbon dito, tapos meron silang halide. So this is an alkyl halide. And then itong dito, this is an ether. And then another alkyl halide yan mga yan. Okay? So, yun yung compounds containing a single bond to a heteroatom. So, kung may compounds containing a single bond to a heteroatom, meron din compounds na may double bond sa heteroatom. And these are what we call carbonyl groups. Okay? So, yung carbonyl groups naman are they contain a double bond with oxygen. Yung carbon naka-double bond with oxygen. So, ito yung isang example ng carbonyl group. Tapos, ito yung R. Tapos, ito yung another functional group. Okay? Ano ba yung example ng mga carbonyl groups? So, for aldehyde, as you can see, lahat yan may double bond sa O. Nagkakaiba-iba lang sila dun sa nakakabit sa isa pang side ng carbon. So, for aldehyde, ito yung double bond, tapos may nakakabit sa kanyang hydrogen. And then, for ketone naman, dalawang hydrocarbons yung nakakabit sa kanya. For carboxylic acid, meron kayong nakakabit na OH. And then for ester, ang nakakabit sa kanya ay another hydrocarbon or another R. Tapos, ang amide, you have your double bond, tapos NH2. Or pwede rin R. Okay? So, ano bang example ng aldehyde? So, as I have said earlier, aldehyde can contain a hydrogen atom directly bonded to the carbonyl carbon. Ano yung carbonyl carbon? Ito siya. Meaning, yung carbon, when we say carbonyl carbon, carbon naka-double bond sa oxygen. Okay? Dito, sa paglalagay nyo ng condensed structure, baka kasi malito kayo pagka, ito kasi, ang ginagawa ng mga medyo hindi pa sanay sa org-chem, ginagawa ng CH3, COH. Okay? Baka kasi malito kayo, mas maganda na CHO na lang. Kasi pagka COH, baka kalain alcohol. Okay? So, CH muna, tapos yung don't need to indicate the double bond. Okay? Kaya wag nyo ilagay na OH kasi baka malito kayo na single bond lang yun. Eh pagka-condense, hindi nakikita yung double bond. So, CHO. Okay? And then, yun ay pag-aldehyde ha. And then for carboxylic acid, so in this example, this is an acetic acid. Yung carboxylic acid contains an OH group directly bonded to the carbonyl carbon. Okay? So in this case, COOH ang acetic acid. Bakit? Kasi both of the oxygen atoms are bonded to the same carbon. So COOH, and then pwede nyo siyang i-condense into O2. Kasi attach nyo yung hydrogen. Okay? Hindi nyo pwedeng gawin yung another common misconception pagka carboxylic acid. Ginagawa CH3, CHO2. Parang ginagaya sa aldehyde. Kaso, pagka kasi ganito, misleading. Baka kasi akalain na yung hydrogen ay nakaband sa carbon. Okay? So, dapat COOH or O2H. Okay? And then, for an ester, ang ester naman, so you have here, again, two oxygen atoms bonded dun sa same carbon. So, tapos another functional group, yung CH2, CH3. So, condense nyo lang siya into O2, tapos yung natitira. Okay? Ito po yung example ng compounds na merong carbonyl group. So, yung odor ng banana, siya ay isang ester. And then, kapag ka naman pineapple, another ester yata. And then this one is aldehyde, yung aroma ng cherries. Yung formalin, di ba yung kanyang concentrated form is formaldehyde. So, it is an aldehyde. Formaldehyde. Okay? So, for practice problem 11.8, you have to identify the functional group and draw out the complete compound. So, ito ay CHO. So, therefore, this is an aldehyde. So how will you draw out the compound? Again, count the number of carbon atoms. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 carbon atoms. Magsisipag naman tayo. Okay, and then you draw out muna yung kailangan para ma-satisfy yung na-aldehyde siya. So you have here C, double bond O, tapos H. Ito ay aldehyde. Tapos yung remaining hydrogen atoms. Okay? And then, next one. So, given the condensed formula, identify the functional group and draw out the complete compound. So, pagka medyo hindi pa kayo sanay sa org chem, mas maganda na yung condensed formula, i-convert mo muna sa drawing para malaman nyo yung functional group. So, how many carbon atom? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tapos, yung first carbon, you have 3 hydrogen atoms. Tapos, dalawa. Another 2. Tapos, carbon is bonded to an oxygen. Tapos, OH. O2, tapos H. So, itong functional group na yan ay carboxyl group or ito ay isang carboxylic acid. Nasa table yan. Okay? And then, another example, you have here this one. So, bilang lang ulit ng ilang carbon atoms. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tapos, supply yung heteroatom. Based sa table, itong C double bond O, this is a ketone. Okay, tingnan nyo lang sa table. Tapos, supply nyo na yung hydrogen. Okay? And then, last example would be this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. May oxygen. Ay, mali pala, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Tapos nakabond sa oxygen. And then 4, 5. Okay? So, for first carbon, tatlong hydrogen. Tapos dalawang hydrogen. And then, carbon walang nakabond sa kanya since naka-double bond siya sa isa pang oxygen. And then, you have here another CH2, tapos CH3. Supply nyo lang yung lone pairs. Okay? So, based on this formula, ito po ay isang ester. Question po. Yun lang po ang lecture natin for today. Sa Thursday na uli yung properties ng organic compounds. Mga polarity, saglit lang ata, solubility. Baka po may questions sa organic, sa functional groups. Walang question?